Just as, for example, in the Christian context, people may pray through him, use his name in prayer, or may pray to him directly. People get the impression that that is the same thing or the same way that Muslims may also use the Prophet. May Allah's peace and blessings be upon him. However, in the case of Islam, the Prophet Muhammad, may Allah's peace and blessings be upon him, is considered to be a human being who received revelation and conveyed that revelation to us. We do not direct any form of worship to him. We do not pray through him or to him in any way, shape, or form. Because we believe firmly that only God can answer prayer. And there is no need for any intermediary between man and God. Another misconception is that the Quran was written by Muhammad. May God's peace and blessings be upon him. However, the Prophet was unable to read or write. He dictated the revelations to certain scribes who were around him, and they wrote down these revelations. He did not write it himself. There's also the misconception that Muslims don't believe, for example, in the virgin birth of Jesus, or the miracles which he worked, or that he will return to the earth. Actually, all these three are part and parcel of Islamic belief. Muslims are required to believe in the virgin birth. There is a chapter in the Quran called the chapter of Mary, in which the birth of Jesus is described in detail. We believe in the miracles. The miracles are mentioned there, bringing dead back to life, making the blind see, etc. However, as it is presented in the Quran, it is made clear, Jesus, when he worked these miracles, he made clear to the people that he was doing it by the will of God. So there would not be confusion in people's minds that he was in fact God and doing these things, but he was doing it by the will of God. These were miracles which God worked on his hands. And of course his return, Muslims believe that one of the signs of the last day will be the returning of Christ to the earth. In fact, we do not believe that he was crucified. This is where the difference comes in more clearly. We believe he was raised up by God, and it was made to seem to the people who tried to kill him and crucify him that they did so. However, as the Quran explained, they did not succeed, and that God raised him up. And he would return to the earth as one of the signs of the last day. Another misconception which is also expressed is that Muhammad, may God's peace and blessings be upon him, did not work any miracles. In fact, there are many miracles which are recorded which he did, but you find usually in Muslim literature that very little reference is made to it. No great emphasis is put on it. Why? Because the miracles which were done during his lifetime were considered to be of particular significance to the people to whom he initially was sent. For a person today to be expected to believe in a miracle which happened in the time of Prophet Jesus, this is something which it would be simply a matter of faith. I mean, there is no evidence for one to be convinced that, really this did happen or it didn't happen. It's either you believe it or you don't believe it. So what is usually emphasized is the miracle of the Quran, because this is the standing miracle. Because Muslims believe Muhammad, may God's peace and blessings be upon him, was the last of the prophets. None were to come after him. then he left behind him a miracle which would stand until the day of judgment as evidence and proof to mankind who sought proof that he was in fact a prophet of God. So the prophet did perform many miracles, but the most important miracle, the one of particular significance to us today and in the future, is that of the Quran itself. And the miracle of the Quran lies not only as a literary masterpiece, which is inimitable. People have tried to imitate its style and content in the past and have failed. And the challenge is there in the Quran. For anyone who does not believe that this is from God, they should produce one chapter like it, and the smallest chapters towards the end of the Quran are as short as 3 verses. However, this challenge is a challenge in Arabic. And the miracle of the Quran, the literary aspect of it, for a person who doesn't know Arabic, it is a little difficult to grasp. But for those people who have learned Arabic, and you have people like Maurice Bucaille, a French doctor who took the time to study Arabic, learn it, and read the Quran, and he became very convinced that this was in fact the Word of God. And you have a number of Orientalists, Western writers who have studied Arabic at length and speak, quite eloquently concerning the literary greatness of the Quran in Arabic original. However, there are certain other aspects which are more tangible to the non-Arabic reading or speaking individual, and that is in the line of scientific facts and information which could not have been grasped at the time 1400 years ago when the Quran was revealed. Information which has only come to light with the development of the microscope, the telescope, etc. There are books which have been written. One of the most well-known of these books, called The Quran, the Bible, and Science, in which this same Dr. Maurice Bucaille went on to compare the different statements of the Bible and the Quran with regards to what are known to be modern scientific facts. And he showed time and time again where the Bible seemed to contradict, what is known to be scientific fact today, whereas the Quran consistently agrees with these scientific facts. The last of the points I wanted to mention concerning beliefs is that Islam is only for Arabs. This is a concept which many people have mistakenly thought. Islam is for Arabs. However, when you take stock of all the Muslims, you find the Arabs who are in the Middle East area add up to about 100 million, whereas Muslims in the rest of the world are approximately 900 million. So Arabs are in a